Another one that often comes up in threat assessment is there's often a disconnect between thoughts versus desires. When you're doing an interview, a lot of questions will ask, have you thought about doing X or have you thought about this? And it's really important to understand in that context that there's a lot of different neurological conditions, everything from OCD, PTSD, anxiety, ADHD, but many others that can increase what are called intrusive thoughts. These are not desires. They're often deeply distressing ideas that can pop into your brain regarding hurting someone else or yourself. They often cause extreme revulsion and distress. And so, if you stick to only asking, oh, have you ever thought about hurting someone? Asking the follow up of, like, why were you thinking that? How did that make you feel? Can be really helpful to understanding, was this something they were purposefully, like, actively thinking and perseverating on? Or is this something that's distressing them? I had a friend describe it as there's pretty much a person sitting in the side of their brain that'll regularly pipe up and go, hey, the most horrible thing that we could think of right now that would make you feel absolutely awful is X. We're just gonna keep saying that on loop for a while. And so again, it's often very upsetting for folks dealing with this, asking and finding out and going a little deeper into why they're thinking that, what's the context, can give you a much more accurate assessment of what's going on with that student. Are they actually a threat, or does the idea of hurting someone cause them extreme revulsion and panic? I had someone say as a counterpoint that, oh, no, people know that when you ask, that's not what you're asking. And let me assure you that many of us do not know that is, in fact, what you're asking. A lot of folks are going to be very literal as the default. And that's also why it's important on the same concept for these interview questions. Some people's brains deal with complex problems very differently. There's a natural variation to all of us, but it can be extreme in different neurodiversities. I'm going to share my own embarrassing story here. Classic assessment in threat assessment trainings that I've done with Chris and Brian is asking a person if they've thought about killing themselves. If you had asked me this in my senior year of college, I would have said, yeah, pretty frequently, like multiple times a week. Not because I was suicidal or anything like that, but because my roommate was having a prolonged mental health crisis and regularly sharing how she was going to kill herself in various ways around campus. And my brain will latch onto any problem that it finds and start assessing it for if it's logical or not. You can very easily distract me by giving me a half-finished logic puzzle or Minesweeper, like a vampire in the old mythology of, oh, if you make them count stuff, that'll distract them. I'm like, that would work for me with logic puzzles. So again, my brain goes in interesting places sometimes, not because I'm purposefully steering it. And that's the case with so many students with some of these different differences. And it's really important to asking these follow-up questions to really determine, okay, is this as concerning as it sounds to me, or is maybe this not, maybe this is just how you think and problem solve and how you react to upsetting or traumatizing things around you. Let's ask those questions and go a little deeper and see if this is really a threat or a concern, or maybe it's not. Good to keep that in mind.